this is a message from us to you. You see, we are prepared to fuck this industry up and let them know we refuse to go quietly. Just like the freedom fighters before us, we are going to take a stand and fight back. No longer will we be shackled under the chains of oppression, forced to believe the lies of a corrupted institution. No longer will we sit around aimlessly waiting for you to think for us. No longer will the power of greed be the driving force of this nation. You have continuously hated on the millennial generation, but for what? For capitalizing on the technological advances of past generations' exploits? For finding movements in other things than manual labor? For knowing that freedom of speech means freedom to speak one's mind, not the ability to offend. To know that these wars that we're fighting are nothing more than irrational, bloody cover-ups. You say this and that about the millennials, but who do you think raised them? Ponder on that while I make another bold statement and say that this government that we have been tricked into believing, well, they're the biggest group of terrorists there are. So rather than accept the traditions of old, we are prepared for a radical revolution. No longer will there be contracts between lobbyists and pharmaceutical companies that put profits over patients. No longer will we stand by as untrained police officers unjustifiably murder us in the streets. No longer will we participate in a school system that hinders the students. And no longer will we pay attention to news channels that are nothing more than wealthy people paying rich people to tell the middle class it is the fault of the poor people. It is time to take a stand and to stop sitting in compliancy. We are, at this moment, ready for the revolution. And I leave it with this. Understand that just because our eyes are open, it does not mean we are awake.
Welcome to my talk show. 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 And we're on live.
Yo, what it do though? Welcome back to another episode of Controversial Conversation. I am your host, your boy, your vehicle through this journey to enlightenment. And y'all, I gotta apologize. I got off schedule. Yeah, I know. Things been a little weird for me lately. I finally went to therapy. Told y'all I would go do it, and I finally did. And, figured out some issues that I got going on. I told her I'd come back for another session, and, we'll see what goes from there. I have recently become involved in a new relationship. Yeah, thank you. And I'm grateful for that. Truly, truly grateful that I finally feel like I've met somebody who is just kind, and patient, and can really deal with this, all of this. And, it's been amazing. So, dealing with that, trying to get my life back on track, just trying to reach back out to my homies, let them know I ain't dead, I ain't gone, I'm still here. Just like I said, man, it's just been so much going on lately, and really in the world too. Like, man, I just can't believe where we are right now as a society. Things are not looking that bright at the minute, if we're just going to be completely honest. We've had just yesterday, man, I went to the movies thinking, it was a good time. I went and saw Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, not knowing that when I was going to get home, I was going to find out about two mass shootings. One in El Paso, bro, 10 fatalities, and 27 other people had to be, treated for injuries. And then in El Paso, it appears another 20 were killed. Now these shootings, like a lot of the recent shootings, have been emboldened, and I will continue to say this, have been emboldened by your president's rhetoric. Okay? This talk of invasion, when we speak about immigrations, is literally triggering white supremacists to pull their weapons out and start shooting. Like, this is a fucking problem. What is it going to take to get y'all to understand that this is not about the guns? This is about a psychological issue that is plaguing a certain percentage of Americans, okay? A nationalistic mindset is not good. It is not a good thing. Okay? Stop confusing that with patriotism, which still to me blinds me, because we don't really have a real reason to be proud. Like, what are we doing in this world right now as an American country that should make us proud? That's a real fucking question. Like, you guys sit here talking about the greatest country, but you don't have any stats to really prove that. You just have a whole bunch of great, good old American exceptionalism bullshit that you continue to push, and I'm sick of it. I am so sick of it. And that's what we're going to talk about today. Today, we are going to talk about the hypocrisy of Donald Trump and the hypocrisy of white America. And if this feels like something you don't want to watch because you feel it might be attacking you, or you might feel defensive about the things that are going to be spoken about because they're actual factual instead of just a whole bunch of emotional nonsense, then I advise you to turn this off. Because we're going to get real today. This is controversial conversation. Y'all got to understand one thing. We refuse to be silenced. Just because y'all want to be silent, just because y'all want to be complicit, that doesn't mean we will. And with that being said, I still can't get in touch with Jizzle right now. But Michael C.J. says he's going to take that anger for me. And he's got something that he just, recorded off, off the cuff, just because he felt that there was a message that needed to be sent. So, fuck it. MCJ. What's good, bro? Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. I go by the name of Michael Christopher Jones. I'm so grateful that y'all could be here with me. I just want to say a few words, if y'all don't mind. You see, I be searching for a piece of pie, Nah, peace of mind. I work against the grind as I'm surviving the times I'm trying. I swear every day I try, cause I don't believe I'm here to just pay bills and die. I keep expecting it to happen, as if it wasn't designed. Staring at the puzzle, with extra pieces to find, I'm writing rhymes. During the darkest time of the night, trying to find that light, but I can't get it right. This a fight. So I gotta keep my hands up, try to block a damn punch, then get hit with a right. See no end in sight to the wars of the plights. We wave a flag in the sky, claiming victory for our side, but the war is never over. See, the battle's never won, cause as soon as one is ended, another one's begun. We say an eye for an eye will turn everybody blind. And I'm guessing that's why nobody ever saw the sign screaming, Black Lives Matter. Is it doing any good? We can't even prove Black Lives Matter in the hood. Sad realization, we call ourselves brother, but can't stop the fact that we still killing each other. Ironic that we came. I wonder, are we able to move away from stereotypes to learn appreciation? Fuck light skin, dark skin, we all one race. Whites, Hispanics, Arabs, Asians, and every other shade. Gotta own up to mistakes and stop pointing blame. Realize something's missing in the system that really needs to change. Take that chip off your shoulder. Listen to what I say. You don't have to accept, just have to tolerate. So no, there is no reason for that race card being played, trying to show everybody that we're all just the same. But then I go inside my mind so that I can meditate as I'm trying to escape. I hope this isn't fate. I'm trying to escape, but no place is safe. Is he the most hypocritical? Alright, I'll be honest. I can't honestly in good conscience make that distinction. But what I can tell you is that his hypocrisy is blatant, is recorded, and is a substantial amount of evidence to support that he is one of the most hypocritical people that has a platform at this moment. I just want to talk about a few things because honestly, I don't have enough time. Y'all don't have enough time to go through every instance of when your president was shown to be a hypocrite. All right, just type in the hypocrisy of Donald Trump in any search engine and you will find countless segments and clips and articles and essays literally telling you that this motherfucker is the most contradicting person in the world, and y'all still found a way to elect him president. So what does that say about y'all? That's a good question. And another question was making America great again and how we could. Remember that? Y'all remember that, right? Okay. So to me, I find it very hypocritical that your president would tell individuals like Ilhan Omar and the squad to leave the country because they want to make it great again. You see what I'm saying? Like, he ran on a whole campaign about what was wrong with this country, the things that needed to be fixed, how stupid America was, how stupid the trade deals were, how stupid everything from Obama down to Pelosi down to anybody else that was a Democrat, how stupid they were. But not just them, how stupid Republicans were. Think about this. There's so many clips that y'all just have to go back and just watch from 2015 to the day he was elected and just count how many times he said America is not great. Now let's fast forward to the squad literally giving you facts as to why America could be better and what we need to do about it, yet they need to leave the country. Why? Why is it that when brown people criticize America, they are told to leave America, even when they're citizens? Yet when a white person says that this country is not good anymore, is not great anymore, they are never told to leave this country. What they are told is, you're right. Well, we need to make it better. What the fuck is that? That is hypocritical bullshit. Make America Great Again was a hypocritical stance from the beginning because it was literally parallel to Colin Kaepernick taking a knee and saying police brutality was so fucking egregious in this country that we needed to do something about it. And that was part of what made America not great at the moment. That was his stance. That was what he was talking about. And he took a knee for that. But then we also at the exact same time had a white person telling us that this country wasn't good, but was literally giving you BS talking points, had nothing of substance, and y'all ate it up. And then turned on somebody who was literally fighting for an injustice. That is hypocritical. But let's go past the MAGA, Make America Great Again. Let's talk about immigration. You know, it's very, very funny to me that these immigration policies that Fuckboy 45 has tasked Jared Kushner and Stephen Miller to come up with. You want to know the funny thing about it? Okay. Well, it's funny because if these policies were implemented at the exact same time that these people's families were trying to get into the United States, they would not be able to get through. Chain migration has benefited not only Fuckboy 45, but Mike Pence, Jared Kushner, and Stephen Miller. All four of them would not be here had it not been for policies that allowed them to come in. And now they are going out of their way to make sure the same stories that allowed them to rise to where they are can never happen again. That is hypocritical bullshit. But let's go past immigration. Let's go to anti-Semitism. Because it's very funny how when Donald Trump talks about Ilhan Omar and all about the Benjamins and how deep-rooted that anti-Semitism is in her heart, because for some reason, just because she's Muslim, she has to just hate Jews. No, that's not what it is. That's not true. But the funny part about that is when we actually look at when your boy Donald Trump was talking to the Jewish coalition and he was saying, I'm probably the only candidate that doesn't want your money. Okay, I mean, you probably won't even vote for me because I probably don't want your money. You know what I'm saying? I mean, I'm a negotiator. You know, I know you're negotiators. Like literally going at every stereotypical trope that you could for Jewish people in front of Jewish people, but was never written off as anti-Semitic. Yet, when a brown person with a different religious background says something, it always gets misconstrued into something that it is not. And then she apologized for it, but hey, here comes Fuckboy 45 to tell her it's just a lame apology and she needs to resign. Well, do you need to resign? Do you? For everything that you have done? Okay then. Oh, that's right. That's hypocritical. And that's what we're talking about. And the last part of the hypocritical bullshit that I really just want to add to, we talked about earlier in the intro, Dayton and El Paso. I don't know how many times I'm going to have to come in front of this camera and tell you that white radicalized ideologies are the number one issue to national security in the United States. You guys keep trying to say that the Muslims across the world, like ISIS and them, are the biggest threat that we have. You keep talking about this so-called immigration issue where you can't truthfully point to the crime because illegal immigrants do not commit crime at a higher rate. Natural-born motherfuckers commit crime at a higher rate. Go check the damn statistics. But y'all want to continuously believe things that make you feel good because it's too hard to confront the truth. You are full of shit. You are full of shit. That is the truth. The truth is, you refuse to step up and say something because it will take you out of your comfortable, leisurely life. The fact that you don't have to think about certain stuff on a daily basis is something that I guess is hard for you to give a fuck about. But until you care and until y'all step up, this problem will not go anywhere. You cannot continue to allow this man to be as hypocritical as he has been and to stay exactly where he is. You cannot allow him to get on Twitter, to speak contradictions that can be put side by side and allow him to weasel his way out of it. This shit is got to stop. And there is no reason why you guys are continuing to sit in the shadows and sit on the sidelines and sit on the bench. Get your ass up and get in the goddamn game and help us out. Because this shit is going to tear us the fuck apart. And this is the last time that I'm going to tell you that we need your help. Alright, so hip hop. Today I want to talk about an album that I've really been listening to, it seems like almost forever. It was probably the first actual CD album that my parents had bought me. And it was edited, they got it from Walmart, bless their heart, whatever. I want to talk about that real quick. It was so ironic. My parents used to always tell me, we don't want to hear all that cussing and shit. And I would just think about that. And my boy Brandon would tell me that too. Like, his mom would say the same thing. I don't want to hear all that cussing and shit. And then, to think about that cussing and shit. And then when you think about the conversations that your parents would have and just, the vulgarity that they would use, and then they would tell you that you can't listen to music with the same words. That fucked us up. But anyways, I want to talk about the Marshall Mathers LP, man. This album right here was so huge in getting me to learn how to write almost in a multi-syllabic kind of way. I tried to imitate Eminem's flow like a lot of, millennial rappers trying to start up did, you know what I'm saying? Because he was just so fucking fresh and just different. And the way that he would come at things was damn, I didn't know you could say that. It was like that, at every given moment. The shock value of some of the things that he was saying. But it was just so real and so pertinent. But on this one right here, there's one song that really stands out the most to me. And it is the song Stan. And it is one of the most creative songs that hip hop has ever had. And the way that he takes a crazed, fanatical individual who is in love with himself, who is in love with Eminem, the artist. And this guy's name is Stan. And he's writing to him. He's got a little brother who's also just as, in love with him and everything like that. And then through these letters, you can start to see that fanaticism that he has for Eminem is starting to turn into rage and fury and hatred. So it goes from an admiring fan who appreciates everything that he has done for him. It's yo, man, you helped me get through this, you helped me get through that, to a little bit darker, yo, I'm kind of pissed that, you didn't really, acknowledge me or anything like that. But, it was cool, whatever. I know you got a lot of stuff to do. It is what it is to, look, motherfucker, you can't talk to me? You can't speak to me? You can't do any of this? Okay, I got you. You don't want to hear me? Well, you're gonna hear me. And then for him to have the response that he did, man. One of the greatest storytelling songs of all time. And with the feature by Dido, Dido. I'm sorry, I don't know how to say her name. I've only read it, and I know she's famous in her own right too. But regardless, the hook with the instrumental, the way that everything was just laid out was so perfect. And this right here is probably his masterpiece. I believe it is his best. Whether he wants to say it or not, I don't know. But regardless, Marshall Mathers LP is one of our greatest albums, and it is definitely something I think everybody should check out. Get the parental advisory sticker one, not that edited, just in case you want to hear the cussing and shit. Alright, but now that we're done with the hip hop album review, there's something that I really do want to talk about in hip hop today, y'all. I have a list. Vino Gunna, Nina Ross the Boss, Boss Goon, T. Kaiser the Dummy, J. Osama, Willie Bo, Tata Chapo, Lil Master, Tech Nine, Kevin Fret, John Whitfield, Nipsey Hussle. Those are the names of individuals who are part of the hip-hop community that have lost their life early this year to senseless violence, being killed. That is the part of hip hop that we do not like to talk about, but it is something that we need to talk about. There's been shootouts just this year involving some of our biggest rappers: Waka Flocka, Offset, Young Thug, YFN Lucci, Youngboy NBA, and Yo Gotti. You see, we like to glorify things, and then we get mad when they become a culture that is something that we continue to buy into. So it's almost hypocritical on our part that if we're going to talk about uplifting each other, empowering each other, being better just for the sake of the community, but then turn around and have beef with each other, pull guns on each other, start wars with each other, then we're no better than the hypocrisy of what I was speaking about earlier. We are no better if we refuse to acknowledge that this is an issue. Those names were just this year. Just this year. It's August. Come on, man. Like, we're literally killing ourselves. For what? TK was just given, 55 years for the race? They're indicting us on our lyrics now, y'all. Okay? They will try everything that they can to get you locked up, and the messed up part is you are doing their job for them. I'm not telling you do not rap about what you live, because you have to. Because how else is anybody ever going to know your story? And I understand that to the depth. You might write it down, you might make a movie, I get that, but rapping is something that is so personal to so many of us. And truthfully, I would never tell anybody to stop saying what they're saying, to stop feeling what they're feeling, and to stop doing what they're doing. But what I will say is, I need y'all to be more cautious. I need y'all to be more cognizant of the fact that these are your brothers and your sisters out here. Okay? We need to start loving. That is it. We got to start loving. All right? I'm so glad that I'm starting to hear a lot of my, I would say, older rap veterans starting to really call out a lot of the things that are going on. 2 Chainz is calling it out. Killer Mike's calling it out. T.I.P. is calling it out. These people are standing up because they realized that if we continue to allow this to happen, this cycle of violence, of senseless killing, then it's never going to stop. We have to be the ones to step up and do this now. So with that being said, I want to give a rest in peace. I want to give my condolences. And I want to give can we please stop fucking killing each other? Alright, so welcome back. Now, today on People Who Suck, we have a group of people that, I just want to call them out today. Because in the heat of everything that's going on, I am more than sure they're going to send some people to try to diffuse the situation with talking points. And today we are talking about the NRA, our so-called longest standing civil rights advocacy group. At least that's what they say. But it's kind of interesting. If we were to look into the history of what the NRA has supported and has not supported, you would think that the National Rifle Association at any given moment, for any given reason, for any given legislation, would always be on the side of pro-guns regardless, correct? That's what the civil rights would be advocating for. I believe that whenever the gun rights are being infringed upon, y'all motherfuckers come to the rescue. It's almost like a bat signal in the sky with just a big-ass gun, and y'all motherfuckers are always there. You, Dana Loesch, whatever that woman's name is, I can't stand her. She just makes my skin crawl. Sheesh, I can't stand the damn NRA. The problem with y'all, to me, is you tout this moral superiority about gun rights and why every person should have one and why you believe that being able to carry it is something that should never be infringed upon. Yet, when old Ronald Reagan was doing the Mulford Act, yeah, y'all remember that one, right? Yeah, when he was governor of California and he was attempting to keep the Black Panthers from doing open carry, and for some reason, y'all supported that. I wonder why. You see, the NRA is nothing but a bunch of Republican, dumbass individuals who believe that the right to own a gun is more important than the right to somebody's life. So they always want to defend the gun. They always want to defend the weapon. And you know what? I'm not here to have the conversation about gun rights. I have my own beliefs on those. And it would take a lot of time to really get into, and I'm obviously going to give y'all a segment about that someday, but right now, that's not the time. The time right now is to call out the NRA for their bullshit. So whenever you see them coming up, you already know what it is. You know it's a lie, you know it's falsified, you know it's fabricated, you know it's full of shit. That is what the NRA does, and that is why the NRA sucks. Anyways, book of the week. Now, I guess we've kind of had a little religious thing going on the past couple weeks that we've done books, but this one is a little bit different. This one isn't strictly religious based. This is written by a evolutionary biologist from the UK by the name of, oh my God, I can't believe I just did that. Richard Dawkins, y'all. My bad. I had a quick brain fart for some reason. I don't know what happened. But anyways, Richard Dawkins. He's one of my favorite speakers when it comes to atheism and science, because he's really poignant in the things that he says. There's a video called The Four Horsemen where it has him, Christopher Hitchens, Sam Harris, and Daniel Dennett sitting around speaking about religion and, you know, the perils that they see with it. They talk about a whole bunch of other things, but it's just a brilliant conversation. Truthfully loved it. But this book right here, what it attempts to do is take the God, as he calls, hypothesis, because that's basically what it is. You're hypothesizing the fact that God might be there, except you can't actually do anything to prove it, except when you change the question. Now, if you say, where did we come from, or how did this all begin, that's a random question. But if you say God is the one that created everything, now you have a starting point, and now you can begin with, well, how did God do it? And now you have to figure it out, which is what he attempts to do. He has other things in here that he talks about, like how ironic it is how most people's religious beliefs somehow coincide with their parents, or coincide with the region to where they were born, things like that. He says it doesn't, to him, truthfully feel like divine purpose or prophecy, much as just selective or natural selection to a degree. So this right here is a really great book on just testing scientific theories about what God has claimed to have done, and also just, you know, speaking more about the truths that religion tries to make as claims, and if we can actually falsify them or not. So, very interesting book. I definitely recommend it. Check out The God Delusion by Professor Richard Dawkins. Ah, man. Y'all thought I wasn't going to do a feel-good story this week, huh? Yeah, because I've been all fire, hell, and brimstone type shit. But nah, listen. There is something that really needs to be talked about, and it's not being spoken about that much at all. Ah, man. This shit makes me feel so good to actually bring a story like this to y'all, though. So, Ethiopia, they set a new world record with trees planted. 350 million trees, y'all, in one day. In one day, this country planted 350 million trees. Do you know that there's probably around 350 million of us motherfuckers in the United States? That all of us could have just planted one, and we would have reached what this one country did. Can you imagine if we got up off our asses and literally tried to combat climate change in ways like this that are just so simple and just started planting trees? Bingo, an idea. So, a couple weeks ago, y'all would remember that we me and my boy Tony B, rode around the city and decided to put up signs of positivity to hopefully kind of boost morale and get people to start feeling better about themselves, because that's really what this world needs more. So, I, along with OMP and along with my mother, yeah, Mom, sorry about that, just kind of threw you in there. But anyways, we are going to start an initiative. We are going to see if we can plant 100,000 trees. Yes, I said that. 100,000 trees by this time, August 4th, 2020. And we need your help. We need all of y'all's help. We need y'all to come together with us and to start doing better, because we can all do a little better. I know I can. I'm sorry again for getting off schedule. I apologize for not being as serious with this as I was supposed to. And I promise that won't happen again. I am truthfully grateful for every second that you give me your attention, and I never ever want to devalue or diminish it. I love each and every one of y'all. Anybody that just takes the time to listen to this, please share it, like it, comment, whatever you need to do. But let's get these words out here now, because it is the time to make these changes. So, as always, two things. I need y'all to be good, and I need y'all to be great. One love, just a babe.